Guys, Lencac here. Time to introduce you to the latest member of the family. And yep, it is a Private Series K31. This one is, to say the least, is quite spectacular, I do believe. It is near perfect condition. Beautiful, beautiful walnut. Totally numbers matching. And it's got a very desirable S-type front sight, which is not the slip-over type that you see on most of them that go over the stock sight, front sight. That one's actually pressed onto the barrel. And as you can see, it has some really, really nice walnut on it. It's almost virtually unmarked. The barrel I've checked. Well, you'll see I went through and checked it, took it all apart, did all the measurements and inspections on it. It checks awesome. Let's flip it over and take a look at the other side. Now this guy has this inlay on the butt on the right side. If any of you guys know what that is, let me know. I'm thinking maybe this was a grand prize at shooting match, possibly. A guy got a thought it maybe belonged to a shooting club, although I don't think that's the case because otherwise it would have been shot probably quite a bit. And the front sight came with a little leather cover. But as you can see, it's pretty damn spectacular condition. And flip it up, take a look on the bottom side of it. It is darn near perfect condition. And so yeah, I can't wait to get this thing out to the range and give it a try, see how she pans out. I think she'll pan out pretty darn good. But anyways, I just kind of wanted to get the thing kicked off with this video to show you what the new K31 looks like. This front S, this pressed-on front S-type sight is a hooded front sight. It's got a bigger globe than the usual W and F type globe that slides on over the stock front sight. It has a post in it. And so I'm going to be excited to give this a try at the range with some GP11 ammunition and some hand loads. All right, guys, we're going to take it apart, take a look inside. Well, guys, here it is. Here it is, all taken apart, as you can see. And of course, I had to pull it all down just to kind of do an inspection on it, look things over. And everything I see on it, it's obviously completely numbers matching, stock, handguard, barrel, receiver, bolt, sleeve, magazine, all that stuff. And as you can see, this thing is in spectacular condition. Even the butt plate, this thing has been maybe used a little bit, but not very much at all. Bluing on the butt plate is still like new. And of course, here's the bolt I've taken apart, numbers matching, bolt sleeve, bolt plug, still, and everything is, the metal work on it is spectacular still, firing pin. I had to pull the extractor out of the bolt just to see if it was, had any, so it's a standard, it's not oversized or anything. And of course the magazine. Nice magazine. It's whole thing is very clean. Trigger guard, bluing on it is still all like brand new. The op rod is excellent condition. Shows that it's been cycled a little bit, not much though. That all inspects very well. Got the rear diopter sight that came with it. Excellent. And this particular one has what is referred to as a S-type front sight, which unlike the W&F ones that slide on over the standard sight, this one is actually pressed onto the barrel. and it is a hooded globe sight with a post inside. And as usual, the trigger on it. Triggers on these things are spectacular. The whole rifle, it's amazing how simple they are, but God, they're just totally efficient. The cocking stem, very nice. So at any rate, guys, I just wanted to break it down and take a look at it all. As you can see, it's got some terrific walnut. Of course, all the Private Series K31s, they were select walnut. I am seeing a, see that right there on the inside there? That is a little addition that somebody put in there, kind of, I don't know, obviously to kind of get it bedded or something a little bit. You see that little wooden insert in there they put in? Interesting, which tells me that perhaps this thing was accurized. Now, this thing has got a badge on the back, on the right side of this butt, and if you see that, anybody knows what that means. The seller of this thought maybe this belonged to a gun club, and I'm kind of wondering, because if it belonged to a gun club, I would have expected it to show a hell of a lot more use, you know, like the gun club has its own set of rifles that you can go in and shoot, rent or whatever, but those are probably shot a lot, and this has been shot virtually not at all that I can tell. But I'm going to give you a little look at that thing there, see if anybody knows what that is. I'm wondering if this was maybe perhaps a grand prize at one of their shoots and fests somewhere at some time. But at any rate, guys, that's what I want to show you. Got a leather front sight cover. So it all checks out very good. And I'm going to put my throat erosion gauge in it. And I'm going to also put my go, no-go gauges in it. So let's take a look at that. And this is my Badger Ordnance throat erosion gauge I use on K31s, and it actually is for an M1 Grand, but it works very well in a K31. It's just that your reference point is a little bit different, I'm sure, than an M1 Grand. So let's put that in there and see. I'm expecting this to show very, if any. There you go. I don't know if you guys can see that, but I am showing it to actually show just slightly less than 2. Line it up like that. And that tells me that that barrel is basically, that's a new barrel. And so that's a good test right there. Let's take it and put the go no-go gauges on it here. Of course, this is my no-go gauge for the Forester 7 or for Forester no-go gauge for a 5575 Swiss, and I do believe this would check base to ogive of 1 inch 810 thousandths. So let's put it in. And see, now this bolt should not go closed on this. There you go. See that? That's where it, not close, not even close. So that's that tells me that, and I can tell by how much is sticking out here on the op rod, that this is, as I would expect for Private Series, that this is going to have a really tight chamber on it. Now let's take and try the let's try the go gauge and see if a go gauge will close on it. And of course, this is the Forester go gauge, and this guy will check from base to ogive of 1 inch 800. I know because I've already checked them before. But let's Let's put it in there. And this one, I'm thinking the bolt should probably close on it. Yep, see that? All right, so that tells me the chamber is still what I would consider a standard chamber for a Private Series K31. It does close, albeit it's draws up tight right there. I have had a couple of custom-built K31s where the chambers are actually a little bit tighter than standard. They would check a little bit less than 1 inch 800 thousandths. And of course, you need to know that stuff because, like I do, I reload for them, which means you've got to make sure that that shoulder is pushed back far enough so that the round will chamber properly. Of course, in one of the checks I always make on these when they're put together without the handguard, when the receiver and stock are put together, I want to know how much tension there is on the barrel at the muzzle end of the stock, and I want to see that the thing is lined up in the barrel channel correctly without any movement left or right on it, and how much tension there is on preload there is on the barrel to the stock. And laying down horizontally like this, it's going to add a little bit to it. If I were to stand it up on this particular case, it would show almost nothing, because as you can see, that barrel is basically zero preload, so it just sits in there just about perfect. See, and that's what I like to see. Maybe if anything else, if nothing, maybe just a tiny bit of preload on the barrel as it meets the front of that stock. But this one here appears to be spectacular. That is like zero, almost zero pressure, just a little bit, because it's laying horizontally. So far, everything I see on this rifle, I don't see any reason why this thing should not shoot spectacularly. I'd be willing to guess it probably will shoot better than I'm able to. All right, guys, so there you go. I'm going to put it all back together now, and hopefully maybe get to do a range test on it here in the next few days. And of course, I will video that, and let's see how that goes. I'm thinking that this rifle should be right spot on. All right, guys, there you go. K31 time over. Lencac over and out.